Okay then, the last of that Thai Redwood log I had. Right then, on the lathe I have the last piece of that Thai Redwood log that I had. Not sure exactly what size it is. It is, depending on where you measure it, somewhere between 9 and 10 inches. Anyways, anybody who's seen me work the rest of this log or any pieces of it knows it's like cutting concrete. It's rock hard. What I'm going to have to do is round this off first. Now, this end here is kind of a weird shape. It's almost like a shape of a shield. There was a piece there that I cut off, which was sticking way out. So I just cut that off with the saw. Right. But as I said, I'm going to round it off first. Now there's some cracks and stuff in it. There's a wormhole there, There's cracks and stuff in it, so I don't actually know what I'm going to do with this until I get it round. Right, possibly aiming for a vase. The video I have in mind is for a vase, but it's to show the inserts that I use because I was asked about them. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So I'm going to try and make a vase out of this to show the inserts that I use, those big wide inserts that I use, where to get them and that kind of stuff. Right, so I've sharpened up the Thompson and we'll start nibbling this down. Right, so I'll stand back here out of the way, get it going. Getting a little bit of a rattle there. So we'll just start getting this down. Very carefully get this down. So as I said, this is extremely hard wood. It's getting there. Yeah, I might leave that in it, maybe. Some natural going in it. I might leave that in. Get some natural edge stuff going. I'll give it another cut while I think about that. Will I go up a lot faster now? Yeah, I can. Do I leave that in? Do I leave that in? That end is as good as round. Not sure yet. Right, something I do have to do is get this into a chuck. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bring that down flat and then put a tenon on it. And that'll leave me time to think about what I'm going to do. Now I'll just bring that over to the saw and cut that extra bit off. And then we'll stick it in a chuck. So I'll do that, I'll be back in a sec. Right then, in a chuck, still have the tail stock up. This is blunt now, of course. So I'll have to sharpen this again. Right then, we're in the chuck. Still have the tailstock up. I've resharpened the gouge. Now we'll just throw this up again. Here's a nice piece of wood. Right, now I gotta start thinking about these cracks and stuff. There's one there. Do I leave that? I think I'll actually leave some natural on this. There's one there. Right. Treat those cracks and then we'll go from there. Right, so I'll treat these just normal CA and sawdust. And we'll be back when I do that. Right, I've now plugged the mic back in because I went outside and I forgot to plug it back in. Right, basically all I was saying there was that I was cleaning off this end to make it flat. Then I rounded off here just so that I would know where the top of the vase is, to give me something to work to. Right, there's another little crack just there. I just want to put some CA into. Right. Now when I as I said, I unplugged the mic there. Right, the way the mic works is, right, you can see the mic here. Right, it goes inside the suit and it goes down under this arm inside the suit, and it comes up here out the back at my neck, and then it goes up to the ceiling on a long wire. But there is a place just there where I can unhook the mic from the wire that's basically embedded in the workshop, and it keeps everything very safe. It's all out of the way. The only problem is that sometimes I forget to plug myself back in, which is what happened there. Right. Right. I don't think I was plugged in when I said this. I'm going for a classic vase at the moment. I may change my mind. Right. So I'm just going to start shaping now. It's one of my favourite shapes of vases. What they're at. They can be hard to get right sometimes, because you have quite a few parts of them that have to balance. creating the foot down here, but I don't want any of this showing in the foot. So there's still a little bit there, so I have to come down a little bit more in the foot. Now, when you're doing a vase and you're doing the foot, just remember that when you're designing it, you have to leave enough room in the foot to part off. Okay, little crack there. Just don't forget that when you're doing it, to leave enough room to part off. I've done it a few times and I've seen it done a lot of times, where I've got this beautiful clean lines, and it's a case of part of them, I have to cut off the foot. It's just one to be careful of. Now, what I was talking about leaving space, right? I'll actually mark it on this to show you where I'm aiming for to part off. There. Right? I'm aiming to part off this side of that line. So that's where I'm balancing the piece to, is to that line. Not to down here, to that line. Leave a step here. Right, I want to leave a step there if I can get it clean, which I can't because of that crack. Right. We'll take it out. We'll take that one out and go higher with a step, because I want to get a clean step in the bottom of this. Right. And this is now blunt, so I got to sharpen it. Right then, now let's see if we can get this step in. I want to check the crack isn't going to take it out again. See, there's that crack that took it out last time. Here we go. Now, hopefully that one should be solid. There's the crack. There it is. Yes, it went through the crack. We're solid. Right, that one's grand. Then we start shaping the rest of the vase. I don't want to overshape it to where I'm taking all that natural side out of it. Leaving that natural side in, it makes pull cuts iffy. A little bit more. Yeah, now I'll take that down. Just looking at the curve of the vase. The top of the curve, lighter on this. Right, the top of the curve of that vase is there, whereas I want the top of the curve there. Right, so I need to cut this end again to bring the top of the curve that way up the vase. As I said, what I'm going for is balance here. It's not much, but I'm going to create a bump there. Make that a little wider to accommodate that balance. Yeah, right. If you look at it now, top of the curve is there, which is roughly in the middle, which is where I wanted it. Now, just blend this curve in slightly a bit more. I don't want any straights on the body there, but there's a slight one there because there's a bump there. I just wanted to kick the top in and out more than out and in, which is what it was. That's what that last cut was. And there we go on the rough shape of a classic vase. Right, now I'm going to sand that and finish it. And yeah, I'm actually glad I left that there. Right, I'm going to sand and finish that, and then we get to the other side of it. Right, so I'll do that and I'll be back in a sec. Right then, just doing the Yorkshire Grit, and I got a PM to remind me that I was supposed to tell a story during one of these. If you remember the first one that I did is I told you a few things about what to do and what not to do if you come to Ireland. Right, and in one of the comments somebody said that they'd heard a funny story about somebody coming to Ireland, and I said that yeah, there's a load of them. I have a really funny one myself that involved my oldest daughter. So we'll tell you this one for the crack. Right, now I'm not going to say where this person was from. Right, so my daughter and her friend were doing the leaving cert. Right, the leaving cert over here is the last exam that you do in secondary school. Secondary school, for those in America, is high school. Right, and it's the main exam, right? You know, you do all the subjects, but you do an exam in each, right? But anyway, they were practicing Irish, right? Which is a compulsory subject over here, right? And they were they sitting on a wall, or were they sitting down somewhere having a coffee? I can't remember anyway. No, they were sitting like on a street cafe kind of thing, having a coffee, speaking in Irish. So this girl who was on the next table turns around to them and asks them what language they were speaking. So the two girls said, "We're speaking Irish." To which the girl's attitude completely changed, and she informed them that, where did I put that kitchen towel? Hang on, I've lost the kitchen towel. Oh, there it is. Right. She informed them that they weren't speaking Irish, that they were speaking Gaelic, which is the Scottish language. And she knew this because, wait for it, her grandfather had told her before she came over what the Irish language was, because he'd once visited Ireland years ago. To which, of course, my daughter and her friend immediately started defending themselves. But no matter what they said, this girl, now I'm not talking she was a young girl, this girl was in her 20s, right, started to insist that my daughter and her friend were wrong. They were not speaking Irish, they were speaking Gaelic, which was the French, or which was the Scottish language, which, by the way, it isn't. But I just found it really funny that someone who is in a country visiting would tell two basically native Irish speakers that they weren't speaking Irish because her grandfather had once visited the country. So that's the amusing story that I mentioned in that comment. Right. And there is the Yorkshire Grit done. This wood is gorgeous. Right. I have to clean out in there. But this wood is absolutely gorgeous wood. Right, I'll clean out in there and then I'll put the wax on and I'll be back then. Right then, just buffing the wax off. So I thought that was an amusing story. Just put that into your what not to do if you go to another country file. You don't tell two native speakers that they're not speaking their own language. But I just found that really funny. You know, that my daughter now was 30, so you can imagine how long ago that was. But so I just found that one very amusing. Oh, that is nice. Put that one up by hand because it's not going to. Right there. Oh yeah, that's nice. Right. Now we'll get on to the part of this that this is all about. The inserts. So I'll set up for that and I'll be right back. Right then, the inserts I use. As told us, we have awful problems getting inserts to fit into vases. What you can get is the test tube type things. right? But for a vase this size, they're too small, right? So my wife discovered these a couple of years ago, right? What they are is a bellow crazy straw beaker, right? I get them over here in a place called Mr. Price, right? They're about £2 each, right? But they are perfect for inserts for vases, absolutely perfect for them, right? Is you get rid of that bit, and the stickers just peel off without leaving a mark. And sometimes it can be awkward, and of course I will have grabbed one out of inside that is awkward, won't I? Right, and then you end up with a perfect insert for a vase, right? Now, I will leave a link. I had a look, and you can get these on Amazon, and I think you can get them on eBay as well. And what I'll do is I'll leave links down below to them where you can get them. I said it's just a bit of thinking outside the box. We have this thing in our head, I need an insert for a vase, so we look up vase inserts. But this isn't a vase insert, but it's perfect. And we're going to put it in there, right? Now what I've done is I have bought a drill bit. That's the exact size that I need for these things, right? And I'm going to drill it in. And then I'm going to shape the top of the vase to fit it. Now, this is the first time I've used this drill bit. As if you remember the last time you see me use one of these inserts, I said I was going to get this drill bit. Well, I got it. Right, I'm just going to turn on the extractor here. Right, so this is going to get a bit loud, so I'll just speed up this so you won't hear any noise. I'm just stopping there for a sec to measure how deep I can actually go here. That's about it, let's see. Yep. And what I want to do is put a mark on my quill to tell me how deep I can actually go. Right. Marker. Right, then I can go to there. Right, here we go, back to it. Let's do it, clean out in there. Right, I'm just going to give in there a quick hoover out because we're getting close. There's the mark I put on. something that's handy to learn if you drill this way by putting your chuck inside, is learn how many cranks it takes to fill that gap. Right. I know this from the fasten bit that's the size down from this. I know it takes 5 cranks to fill that. And there we go. We are drilled. Right then, now we clear that out. Right, grab the insert, and in she goes, and she's a perfect fit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking the outside of this down, right, till it meets that. Now, and just checking for height. Right, now we're going to back hollow. Now what I got to think of it here is, do I want a rim here, and if so, how wide do I want it? Look, how's that cutting beautifully. Just checking for the width of the wall on this part. Yeah, it's straight. Now just want to check how much more to go down. I think it's a fair bit. No, it's actually not. Right, so to give myself a clue, I'm going to put a pencil mark there. That is the top of the hopefully the camera's picking that up. Is it? No, it mightn't be, but I'll put a pencil mark there at the top of the insert, and that's what I'd come down to if to take that pencil mark out of it. See that pencil mark because it's full of bits. Right. There we go, that's it. Now I just want to trim that to make sure it's perfectly flat and smooth. Perfect. Now just going to sand and finish the inside. Yeah, that's nice. Perfect. Right, now I'll sand and finish the inside of that. I'll be back in a minute. Right, just polishing the wax off. And that turned out really nice. Right, basically what I've done is I used the sandpaper on a stick trick to sand all the way down inside, and then I've gone down as far as I can with my fingers with the Yorkshire Grit and the wax and stuff. Right, there we go, and that looks quite nice in there. Now what we're going to do is part this off, finish the bottom, and it's done. Right, I want to give my parting tool a sharpen before I do this. Now we part this off. What I'm going to do is part it off and put a slight undercut in it so it stands on a rim. Right, there's the first cut. Just want to check that edge is sharp. It is nice and sharp. Now we start the undercut. Very, very slight undercut because it's all it needs. Right, we'll go up a bit more. Yeah, that's better. Just check that edge again. Yeah, that's balancing better. Right. Don't forget to put a relief cut in. So that it doesn't bind. I'm going to slow it down now because I want to be able to catch this. There we go. Now we're just going to sand, finish the bottom of that, and I'll give you a better look at it then. So I'll do that and I'll be back in a sec. Right then, and there we have it. A Thai Redwood classic vase. Right, out of this video, if you could think outside the box, right, just because we're wood turners doesn't mean that everything we use has to be for wood turning, right? Stuff that isn't meant for us can be used very easily, right? Like there's that nice vase, right, and there is the insert inside of it. and it's a perfect fit, and it's smack on for what we need. As I said, I'll leave links to where you can get them and stuff down below. The drill bit, I think, is 55mm. I'll double check it and I'll put it as a caption here. Right, but it makes life a lot easier, and it's the biggest insert I can find that's usable for us. So if you enjoyed that one, if you wouldn't mind clicking like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.